Hello, and welcome my fellow Vermonters. It's great to have you with us for another episode of JobTalk Vermont, where we shine a light on real people, real jobs, and real support happening in every corner of our state. I'm Paul Ferraro, Vermont's one-stop operator, and I'm glad to have you join us today as we dig into an industry that quite literally builds Vermont from the ground up: construction. From our roads and bridges to the homes and businesses we rely on every day, construction careers offer steady work, strong wages, and plenty of room to grow. Today, we'll be joined by Richard Wobby Jr. from Associated General Contractors of Vermont. Richard brings decades of insight into the opportunities, training pathways, and community partnerships that keep this industry moving forward. This is JobTalk Vermont. Let's get to work. Vermont's one-stop system is a statewide network of career centers that offer free support with job listings, training programs, resume help, career counseling, and more. We connect you to resources and partner organizations and provide individualized support for Vermonters who are entering or re-entering the workforce, looking for training and apprenticeships, or need career guidance. We are a network of community organizations working together to support Vermonters with individualized services. Our partners include state agencies, community action organizations, and local and national organizations. It's time to meet the employer. Today, we're taking a closer look at Vermont's construction industry, an essential part of building and maintaining the communities we call home. One organization leading that work is the Associated General Contractors of Vermont. They support employers, strengthen safety training, and help Vermonters access real career pathways. We're joined by Richard Wobby Jr., Executive Vice President and Director of Safety Training and Member Services. Richard has spent years helping people enter and advance in construction careers, and he brings a deep understanding of where the industry is headed. He's here to share what opportunities are available, what skills matter most, and how Vermonters can get started. Richard, thanks for being with us here today.
First things, we got to get my logo up on that screen. How do we do that? Huh? That's what we do to promote construction.
Okay.
Right? And if we want to talk about getting a job, because I came into this world a little differently than most folks, I don't think I chose construction at any given time. I think construction chose me, and it was a challenge. We all want to build. We all want to see things. We want to be able to take pride in what we put up there. And I wasn't probably the best. People will tell you I am not the best equipment operator, and I can't pound a straight nail. But I can tell you how to do it. Okay. So, again, AGC, we have a knack for bringing people together and putting them in the position they would like to be in, so they can advance in their life and they can end up with a better life in the end.
It's always helpful for viewers to hear how careers evolve over time, especially now so many Vermonters are exploring new paths or returning to the workforce. So I appreciate you sharing a little bit about your background with us. I'd really love to see how experience builds on itself, which is something that we emphasize a lot on this show. So tell us a little about AGC Vermont. It plays such a big role in supporting Vermont's construction workforce, so it's really great for the viewers to hear the mission behind that organization. Share us the list.
But it wasn't always that way.
Okay.
I mean, so we've been around 90 years.
All right.
And the whole purpose was to figure out how to do more work, not necessarily how to increase workforce or how to take a swing at some of the legislative policies that might inhibit a growing industry. And I would say back in the mid-'60s, it kind of expanded. It grew a little bigger, and there was two big points in its life that it grew. In the mid-'60s, it got more involved with advocacy and government affairs and whatnot. And then towards the end of the '90s, 2000s, it branched out and started to look at what's our workforce look like and how can we expand that workforce. And at that point, it grew tremendously because nobody was really, if you look back then, no one was worried about workforce. No one was really worried about hiring people. AGC took a huge step forward and said, that's what it's about, and that's what we have to be about, because businesses in their own, by themselves, cannot survive. We need that family. We need that community to come in order to build out what we're doing, whether we're diversifying, whether we're staying in our own track, what it is. And we found that if we could help people get trained, we could teach them what was necessary, then we could turn around, keep them safe, and then we could create these good careers that people could go out and buy that Camaro and buy that snow machine, or right? Because that's what it comes down to. You and I can debate, well, I want to raise a family, I want to give them everything they want. The initial piece is there are other things that I want to be able to afford. And if you can afford the other things, then you can raise that family. You can give them everything they want. Because I don't care how you place it, our priority is family, right? And then we play, and we play hard. But I would say that's how it grew, moved into these different areas. We are the Vermont's largest construction association, most recognized over the last, I'd say, half dozen years. We have been recognized 15 times nationally between our workforce program, our build out and training, our safety program, and then we ventured off into a world of construction leads. This is terrible to say. We don't want to talk about this, but construction is one of the top industries affected by overdoses and suicide, and we've ventured off into that world to protect and help those that work for us to, again, help them with their struggles or anything they may need help with. So we're kind of all over the map, but again, we are not afraid to lead the way and kick in a few doors and say, let's see what we got to do.
Well, I hear you say that on top of being involved in legislation and training, you are also involved in supporting the members of your industry who need job readiness support. They have addiction problem treatment needs. They have maybe housing needs. They have substance abuse needs, right? Stuff like that.
We have built programs. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
I want you to share.
I'm ready to puke on the
Let's
table
hear it.
here. But we have had programs working with people that maybe took a bad step and ended up in a correctional facility. We've helped bring them out and place them or find them work. We've worked with Sana out of Stowe and a couple other re-entry programs to help get them in the industry and working. One of the things that's happening with the industry, and I'd like to say it's out of the goodness of our heart. Paul, we are like really great people and we're worried about you.
Yes.
Okay? And that is semi-true. But on the flip side, our industry is at that, I mentioned the 60s. We're at that tipping point that over the next 5 years, we will lose 40% of our industry to retirement, to multiple things, but we'll lose 40% of our workforce. With the present forecast, the young folks, the old folks, whatnot, that are coming into the industry. And it's a very profitable industry to come into and work in, but that only makes up about 80% of the 40% we're losing. What I'm telling you is for every 10 people we lose, we are only getting 8 back in. Mm-hmm. So we've got a gap in there. And the biggest gaps we're seeing, and I'm sure we'll talk about them, but the biggest gaps we're seeing right now is within 1, the equipment operator field, 2, the pipe layers, the guys that are building our infrastructure. Yep. You've seen it, and the rural internet thing going on, fiber. Yep. Gap in that and coming up. That's kind of backfilling itself, and it's backfilling it well. They've got a couple good programs out there. And then we look at advancement. So all of a sudden we've got a new group of people coming in, and they are not necessarily prepared. We do that. We advance you till you can't produce anymore, and then you're stuck in a position you can't produce, which brought us to the point that we should start doing some leadership training. We should start getting into, it's not all operational, and it's not all how you fit a pipe or how you operate this excavator or this loader. Some of it is, you got to have some leadership qualities, and you've got to be able to communicate with those people around you, and you've got to be able to understand what's needed to make this project become successful. Yeah. So we've ventured into parts and pieces of that and offer that as well. We start off, I remember back in my day, how many times you hear that? But back in my day, we used to run 2 OSHA courses a year, and we handed out sandwiches, and it was the end of the day. And we are now up to, we run close to 100 training classes every year. We put somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,500 to 3,000 people through training, and it's multiple facets of training. It's leadership, it's caring about each other, it's building vertical or stick building, it's civil building, it's the whole realm now. So anyway. Hey, so I didn't mean to grab the whole thing. I was just trying to help. I heard you mention soft skills and critical thinking are really important skills to have if you're working in the construction industry, and also leadership skills. And those are things that you're supporting some of your industry members, and you're also looking for those types of people with those types of skills to apply to these jobs. Well, it is. So it's more, and that's where we all grew up. You were a kid, I was a kid. I played with Legos and Tonka toys and stuff like that, right? And so when construction was there, I wanted to see bricks go together. I wanted to see some of this stuff happen. And you're never sure how to get into it, mm-hmm. right? Or what's expected. Well, it's pretty easy off the road to become I'll say a pipe layer or a dirt digger or whatever you want to say, a laborer within the construction industry. And then there are clear advanced pathways for people to fall into. So that initial step is probably harder for you than the contractor to hire you. You want to do it. Once you take that step, in most cases, whether we're talking the Kingsbury Company or the Pizza Galley Company up in this neck of the woods, the DEWs, the Hutchins, they've got pathways that you enter and you work on this level, and then you evaluations, whatever you want to call them, and you advance through the tiers till at one point you're sitting here and all of a sudden you're a supervisor and you're saying, damn, I used to enjoy putting them Legos together. Now I got responsibility. Yeah. But no, it's a pretty clear pathway, pretty clear way, and if you take a look at it, you can capitalize on your present skills and those skills with which the industry is happy to help you learn and teach. We're in the middle right now of trying to work a partnership with the Vermont State University and the Community College of Vermont to actually have some of our training recognized in some sort of certificate program, as well as build out the apprenticeship program so they offer some of the courses that are necessary. So it's not necessarily us building these programs out all the time. It's what's needed in the community.
Yeah, and construction offers such a wide spectrum of roles. That variety is huge. It's a huge advantage for people looking to get started quickly. And from what I'm hearing from you is that, you know, it's easy to get, not easy to get into this industry, but there are many ways you can enter the industry. And once you're there, the industry is willing to support you with your upward mobility.
Correct. And the path, and there are many ways to come in, and so you start to look at that, whether you walk in off the street and you go to Vermont Job Link, or you go to somebody like you. There are lists of people that are looking for folks, and this is the ideal time, by the way. I don't know if, and you do realize that I don't have to tell you, but the end of the month, the Department of Labor is having a big hiring fair. I think it's
February 25th, statewide.
Is it the 25th?
Statewide construction job fair. Details to follow.
Yeah, but that's huge, right?
Yeah.
And it's very, it's keyed right in to the construction world, and whether you're into being a plumber, an electrician, a bricklayer, a pipe layer, an equipment operator, whether you're interested in the civil world, the stick building, this is all coming together on the end of February. Then once you start down that pathway, then we start to look at, okay, you want to do this. Well, there is some overlap, and there's probably some safety training because we don't want anybody to get hurt. Safety training, and then we turn around and start to look at other key measures that will help you advance your career. But so you got the job thing happening the end of February. CTEs, the Career Technical Centers. We come out of that. I notice your sign with resource. That's what made me think I got to get my logo up there. Okay? Resource. We partner with them on some different things to bring some of their folks in. We have looked at almost every pathway, every hiring option out there to help bring people into the industry.
That's great to hear. Let's check out some of the jobs that are available. These are job introductions today. We're going to go through some of them, some of the needs, the higher needs in the construction industry. And we're going to look at what it takes to be successful in these roles and the job opportunities within these roles can be found on VermontJobLink.com. So let's go to our first one here. It's a construction site safety technician. The average wage is $68,000 per year or $32 per hour. Richard, share with us a little bit about what it takes to get into this type of position.
That's a funny one because that's where I started.
Excellent.
Okay, that's a funny one. Really, if you're looking at coming into that, I would personally recommend that you go to Keene State. You get an OSHA trainer card. If you have an OSHA trainer card, you advance through that rapidly. If you have an understanding of the OSHA regs, the mining regs, the federal highway regs, and don't have those certifications in place yet, most companies will help you get them. You end up spending a great deal of your time initially involved in job site audits, doing a mess of paperwork, chasing what is not right, and stuff as simple as there's an OSHA rule out there that you can't work more than 6 feet off the ground without some type of fall protection. Number one-sided thing, but if you can help somebody understand the need for fall protection, the need for safety, then that's a great area to jump into. But again, it's communication and it's leadership, and you got to be ready to share the details, to care about other people,
right,
and to care about what we're doing out there in the field.
Yep.
So, yeah, construction site safety technician, it's been out of this world for me.
That's great. And, you know, safety roles are becoming more important across Vermont job sites, so it's helpful for viewers to understand what it looks like day to day. And knowing that this is a great entry-level position, and if you stay with it long enough, you'd be sitting at the table with me.
That's correct.
All right, let's go to
the other good one.
Yeah, what's the next job we have? Heavy equipment operator. I know we talked a lot about the need for heavy equipment operators. So this spans a variety of different positions. The average wage is $45,100 per year, or $21.61 per hour. Tell us a little bit about this.
I think you're short on that.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to tell you.
About the wage?
I think the wage is more than that.
Okay.
Okay? No, I really do.
I'm glad to hear that.
Okay. We've been caught up in this for a while, but I think the wage is more than that $21.61. What happens is a good operator, I would say that's probably starting out wage, okay? But a good operator is making between $30 and $35 an hour easy. A good operator can go wherever they want and find work wherever they want. The deal is, you've got to learn to get along with those people on the ground, which is difficult sometimes.
You need communication skills.
You really do. And you are running some big equipment. That big equipment is the same stuff that each and every one of us growing up as kids looked at and said, I want to run that someday, right? I want to do that. So it is a big responsibility, and I don't care if you're operating an excavator, you're operating a loader, some of them mine haul trucks that we're using on multiple mine sites. Same thing, they're big, they're bulky, they are fun as hell. They're dangerous as hell too, and you need the training. I only mention the training because we just got into, between Department of Labor and ourselves, we have created a simulator lab. We have an excavator set up in it. We have a portable sim that is floating around to different CTE centers being used to educate the youth. But this is one of those positions that is opening up rapidly. And part of the reason it's opening up is, for some reason, during, say, from 2000 to 2015, we didn't bring anybody into that position. Well, right. John, he's pretty good at it. I'm going to keep John working over there, and you can lay pipe or whatnot. Well, John left me. And all of a sudden, we've got to replace John. So this heavy equipment operator is a great place to go into. It's probably not going to be your first step in construction unless you've got some intense training and understand how to operate one.
Do you need particular licenses?
Not in Vermont.
Okay.
Not in Vermont. You just need the knowledge on how to operate. And that's where we got into with the Sims. Now, I keep mentioning people, and I don't mean to leave anybody out, but if you start to look at it, Seacard, Kingsbury, Casella, all started their own internal apprenticeship programs through DOL to train those operators. And this apprenticeship thing, I'm kind of sold on it.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, I'm kind of sold on it. I'm not fully sold, but this apprenticeship thing is a fairly good thing in the sense that the apprenticeship will help pay your salary as you're learning. I believe it's a 6 or 8 week program. They'll also pay one of the operators on site to be a mentor and to be a trainer for you. And so it's not like you just step on it and you're all by yourself. They work through things. We've got a couple programs this morning. We had Cortland Construction in doing evals on the Sims. We had Vermont Gas call the other day, and they want to do evals on the Sims. So this evaluating where you are in the program and having a piece of paper, only because you mentioned the certification piece or licensing piece, we supply evals, and you can actually show somebody whether you're good or you should just move on to something else.
Oh, so similar to like a license or a certification, you have a way to prove that people have a certain level of competency.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what AGC does.
Well, we do a lot of that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one little cupful.
Because when we talk about licensing and certifications, right, essentially those are barriers to entry for people coming into an industry. And so if you don't have that, that's something you need to go get, and that takes time, that may take money. And you're saying in Vermont, no, you don't need that kind of thing. You need to have experience, but get your foot in the door with a construction company, work your way into the heavy equipment operator role, get your skills and experience there, and then you can come get evaluated and have something that says, that shows your level of competency.
So I'm not a well-liked person.
Okay.
Because I've been on the other side of this.
Yeah.
I think the minute we start looking at certifications and licensing for operators or for contractors, we limit our pathway, right?
Yeah.
If you got to have a license or a certification to do that pipe job or to do that equipment operator or to be that home builder, I just limited my folks.
Right.
And frankly, most of that is taught by the contractor when they come in-house, right? And we push that. So there's some people that don't look kindly on me because I'm not really sold on licensing and certifications within the building and civil world. I think those are internal pieces. Now, within the plumbing and electrical world, I think they're great, right? Because I want to make sure my pipes work and I don't want that gas line to blow up. And I want to be able to have electricity that I can count on. So I kind of move in that direction there. But even those, if you're in a CTE program or an adult ed program, you can work through those programs within the Vermont State University, within your local CTE. Resource, I think, is now offering 1 or 2 apprenticeship programs as well. So they can be had, but it's in those worlds. Generally, the first year within those worlds is all about learning, right? I don't even know what, and you have more data than I have in this electrical world. Let's bring that slide up. Can you bring that slide up?
We'll go to the next job we have. Electrician apprentice, perfect segue, pays $35,000 a year or $17 an hour. This is for the electrician apprentice.
That's correct.
Right? And so
that's
when
low
would
tier, entry tier.
Yeah.
After a year, you probably come close to 50 grand on that average wage. And after 2 years, you're probably up around 75. It rapidly moves, right?
Yeah, and apprenticeships are such a powerful pathway. Earning a paycheck while learning a licensed trade is such a huge advantage. So,
it's huge.
So you're starting day one earning a paycheck while also gaining experience, and you're just building on that and compounding on that year after year.
Yes.
So I guess like the apprenticeship, am I right, is like the first year is where people really learn to see how the classroom material and the job site connect.
First year's terrible.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sure.
No, because if you think about this, we are joint, and it's great. CTEs are doing it, state universities doing it. But if you think about that, I'm coming in this industry because I want to be the guy that hung this drape behind us. I want to be the guy that put that HVAC system in. I want to be that guy. Mm-hmm. I don't want to read this book on great by choice. I don't want to do that. I'm not even a good book reader. So that first year, though, you do spend some time in class.
Yeah.
You do spend some time understanding the tools of the trade, the simple things like bending pipe or attaching pipe or simple, and I don't mean simple because they aren't simple if you don't do them right, but you start to understand all those concepts. Then we turn around and all of a sudden you're thrown into the field under fire. And then you start to do it. And even then, you're lucky enough to be a journeyman's apprentice, and you travel with them, and yeah, you're lugging tools, you're doing this, you're carrying wire, you're pulling wire, you're doing all that stuff with the idea in mind that in 3 years, 4 years, I'm that guy.
So you need to start at a trade school first before you become an apprentice?
No.
And how do you become?
Part of that apprenticeship is that trade school.
Okay.
Right? And that's what we're talking about, paying and this and that. Part of that is that whole thing. Because that first year, it is some classroom stuff. It is on the job stuff. It's learning about the tools, learning about the safety. Simple. Again, I mentioned bending pipe. There's an art to bending pipe and bending it correctly. Mm-hmm. And that, you kind of get into that stuff. But it's not sitting in a classroom all the time. It's periodic, whether it's one night a week or 2 nights a week, depending on your rate, your schedule, how you're doing this. You just keep moving through.
Excellent, good to hear. So it's a strong option for people who enjoy both hands-on tasks and technical problem solving. All right, let's look at the next job we have available. This is the project manager, pays about $66,632
Don't do it.
an hour.
Don't do it. Nobody wants to be a project manager. Nobody. You realize the responsibility those guys
have.
have.
I was project manager. I have a project management professional certification, so I know that being a project manager and having that certification opens up pathways to within multiple industries. But for the construction industry in particular, we're talking about project managers, and these are the people that just keep the projects moving along. And it's helpful for people, to our viewers, to understand what that responsibility really looks like.
You know what Gorilla Tape is?
Yes.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
You ever use Gorilla Tape?
Oh, plenty.
Yeah. That's a project manager. That is what a project manager is. Project managers are Gorilla Tape. They hold that whole project together, and they ensure that it's coming in on time, or they try to foresee problems that have to be done. They're solving the puzzle. I say that a lot, but project manager is solving that puzzle and trying to keep everybody on the same page. And you got, we're putting up that drapery over there, we're putting the HVAC up here, we got lights going in over there, and that project manager has to be able to see that finished project before it's finished.
Yeah.
And he's got to be able to communicate well enough so that you want to put those lights up. Right? Yeah. And all that. I really do. I respect project managers. That is the Gorilla Tape that holds that whole project together, whether the super wants to say he's in charge, the foreman's in charge. Every one of these pieces has to come together. Yeah. And it generally relies on that project manager for that piece.
Sure, they manage the scheduling, they manage the risk, they have to be forward-looking and be excellent communicators.
And I didn't see your number there, but a good project manager's making upwards to $100,000 now.
Sure. Yeah,
mean, that's...
the wages we showed on these slides are basic starting wages, and they don't reflect all the jobs that are available.
Yeah, but as well, and just so you know, I've got a good number of project managers that never went to college, right? Okay. They didn't go there. They were builders. They wanted to build something. They wanted something to do with their hands. And they have succeeded and done very well throughout life doing this job.
Yeah, it sounds like you can do very well for yourself in the construction industry if you're committed and you're willing to continually learn, and you don't necessarily have to have formal education, meaning technical schools, colleges, or
correct,
trade programs. Yeah, great. Let's go to the next project. Next job we have available is the civil engineer,
and we work with
$68,000 a year, $32 an hour. These are really, I would say, on the lower end of what civil engineers make. The difference here that I put this job up is because the education options, this one is strictly just a college education, while all the other jobs we cover today, you can have industry experience. Let's talk a little bit about this one.
And you have to have a degree in engineering. I mean, there's a bunch of caveats or steps that you have to proceed through. The hardest guy to talk to on a job site is an engineer, civil engineer, because your project manager sees it like this, your electrician sees it like that, and your project manager's trying to bring this all together, and then your engineer walks in and says, hold it, let's get going here. We got to move that abutment, or we got to start to work on this bridge over here. They're good people. They are actually the people, your civil engineers are your people who actually design, not necessarily build, but design those roads, bridges, and the systems, whether it's a water system, infrastructure, wire poles, that make Vermont work. I mean, they are the people. They put it on somebody had that messed up head that thought they could put it on a piece of paper and share it with you, right? And that's your civil engineer. Yeah. And I'm not making light of civil engineers, but that's what they do. And they are damn good at it. And necessary. Oh, God, imagine trying to build the city of Burlington. I think they are, by the way. But build the city of Burlington without some sort of scope or some sort of plan on where the things are going and how they're going. We ran into that, what was it, 6-8 months ago in Winooski, when we're coming up over the hill, and all of a sudden the plan said, all this pipeline, gas lines, and everything are over here. And the engineer was saying, I'm sorry, they aren't there. They're over here. And get ready, because we're going to hit a tough time through here. And we did. Some of the guys, we hit a gas line once or twice. I mean, but if it's not in the plan, and it's not on the old plans, it doesn't exist in our world. And we got to find it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, civil engineers, that's a tough job, but gosh, are they smart.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people interested in STEM don't realize how many local opportunities exist in this field, and I think it's important to highlight those and let people know, you can enter the construction industry without being someone that, has this desire to constantly be outside and actually build things with their hands, right? You want to... There's other ways to do that and to be involved, and we need those people with those backgrounds, especially in STEM, to come out and apply for these jobs and get involved in the construction industry.
Yeah, and it is a great growing experience, especially in there with the technology. And I'm just going to say, when we start looking at your engineers and some of this other stuff, with some of the technology that is available today, the B2B programs, the B2W programs, the on-the-ground programs, and then that AI, with everything that's available today, that engineer is going to be a fast advancing career. And they're going to be able to actually see the result of their work in this real world atmosphere. So.
All right. Well, thank you. We've covered all the jobs we have today. It's great to learn that there's so many entry points into the construction industry, whether it's training programs, certifications, or short-term courses to help people get started. And, you know, we want our viewers to know you don't need to know or to have everything figured out on day one, right? You just need to begin. You need a place to begin. I think we've covered a lot of that today.
You know, it's funny. So, and I know we're running out of time, and I'm good. It's funny, the number of people that come to me, and you can reach us at agcvt.org or send Ben.
Here we have your contact info up here along with your logo.
Rosie. So you can send an email to Rosie at agcvt.org or Ben at agcvt.org. The number of people that come in and say, I want to do this, and they start down that pathway, and 6 months later they say, you know what, I don't think that's for me, but I like paving, or paving's not for me. I like pulling fiber, or I like the electrical world. It's a matter of just jumping in and learning.
Yeah.
Feeling it out, and then being able to move into the career that you want that best suits you. The deal is, though, we all do this, and I never thought I would do it. I ride down the road, and the other Friday night we had a pipe break, water line break. I went up and checked out the water line, went through. We had a couple little problems. Company was working it through. Set them up. I got home, and my wife wanted to know where I was. It was midnight before I got home. Want to know where I'd been, what I'd been doing, and I said, we put a pipe in tonight. The pride we take as you go by that building, as you go by that road, I built that bridge, right? That pride, you don't get that any other place, and that is huge. So we give as much support as possible and as much direction as possible to those people that are interested in coming in. And our big key point right now is trying to pull those newcomers and being able to offer them the pathway in, the safety training, some of the short courses, introduction to some of the apprenticeships through our partnerships with other folks, and job placement whenever is possible.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone who's curious about entering the construction industry, doesn't know where to start, doesn't believe they're qualified enough? What advice would you give them to take that first step?
It's real easy. No one starts as an expert. Nobody understands the whole game. Nobody gets the whole thing. And don't think you have to. You don't need to. If you're willing to work and you're willing to operate as a team and show up. So I was talking to a couple contractors the other day, and I said, what are like the 3 most important things that you would tell somebody new coming into the industry? You're going to hire somebody. They said, be able to talk to people, be able to read a ruler. Pretty easy. Read a ruler. I think it's easy. It's not.
Yeah. And
then finally, being able to add. Not multiply, just add. So you can add 1 1/2 and 1 1/8 and come up with 2 5. See, it took a second. Not that you were checking me. 2 5/8. But just simple, those 3 things, communication, read a tape measure, and be able to add, damn, we'll take you from there, right? We'll even help you learn how to add. But that's it. We'll help with the rest. If we can get you in, learn, show up, and we say show up, yeah, we are crunch time during the season. We are hard, and you got to be there during the season. But on the other side of it, you and I were talking earlier, from that mid-December point to April, you're footloose and fancy free. You can pretty much do what you want and move on. Or we have partnerships with the ski areas and some of the winter resort folks that we're moving people back and forth. Even CDL operators, we're moving into the fuel industry right now to deliver your fuel, and then they'll come back and help us move material. So it's pretty much wide open.
That's good to hear. And that's great guidance for anyone exploring their next step. We'll make sure viewers know how to connect to AGC. If you could pull up that slide again, the contact us slide. I want people to see
Look
that.
at you even got a scanner thing
Look at
there.
that,
And there's my logo, so you don't even have to,
right.
you can just put it on that other page.
Yeah, we got you. We got you. Yeah, we want people to reach out and connect, take that first step, and you're a valuable resource in helping people do that, whether it's supporting individuals entering the industry or supporting the industry with increasing the workforce. And so we appreciate all the work that you've done and that you continue to do. And it's been a pleasure to have you on the show today discussing this.
I'm going to give you a couple final words.
Let's hear it.
Okay? Try things. Try everything you possibly can out there. Try it. Say yes to opportunity if you see an opportunity. And a lot of great careers start with someone simply saying, I'll give it a shot. That'd be fun.
Yeah. That's great advice. We appreciate it so much. Richard, thank you for sharing your insight and helping us shine a light on the many pathways available in Vermont's construction industry, from safety technicians to heavy equipment operators, electrician apprentices, project managers, and civil engineers. It's clear that these roles offer real opportunities for Vermonters to build strong, stable careers. What really stands out is how accessible these careers can be. Whether someone is just starting out, changing fields, or looking to advance, there are training programs, apprenticeships, and hands-on learning opportunities that make it possible to grow at every stage. As you've shared, safety, teamwork, and continuous learning are at the heart of this industry. We appreciate the work AGC is doing to support employers and job seekers across the state and to make sure Vermonters have the skills and confidence they need to step into these roles. So Richard, thank you again for joining us today and for everything you do to strengthen Vermont's workforce. Pleasure to have you.
Paul, thank you. And remember, AGC is here for you.
Good to know.
Thank you.
As we wrap up today's episode, remember that Vermont's workforce is built on community, people supporting people, sharing knowledge, and opening doors. And that's what JobTalk Vermont is all about. Check out part 2 of this episode where I teach you how to network, review construction industry job postings, and check out one-stop events where I highlight a statewide construction industry job fair happening on February 25th. If you're ready, if you're ready to explore new opportunities or need help navigating your next step, your local one-stop is here for you. Visit us at our comprehensive job center at 63 Pearl Street in Burlington, or find a one-stop location near you. Remember, VermontJobLink.com serves both employers and job seekers alike. Log in, create your profile, and post or view available job opportunities. Thank you for spending time with us today. This is JobTalk Vermont. I'm Paul Ferraro, and I'll see you on your way to work.